Pointless top 10 things you never noticed in World of Warcraft. Now, I've noticed a lot of things in WoW. I try to pay attention to what's going on around me. Let's see if WoW Krendor has found some things that I never knew about World of Warcraft.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things, where we fly by its pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is the fact that the Temple of Ancorage is actually shaped like a giant scarab beetle. So if you fly all the way up into the sky and do a top-down view...
Oh, shit. I never knew this. Damn, we've done our transmog comps in here, too, and everything. Oh, my God. Look at that. It is a giant beetle.
Of the actual Temple of Ancorage, you'll see it's actually shaped like a scarab. Like, look at that. It's got all the little legs. It's got the carapace or whatever it's called. I don't know enough about beetles, but I know that that's a thing. And I genuinely never even knew this. Like, I think it's just always been like this. And it's crazy because you go there all the time, right? It's almost one of those things where you never look up. You never look up at the ceiling. Well, you never really fly.
For one thing, like, flying wasn't even available in this zone for a very long time, right? So, I mean, it's been available now, but early on it was not. So to get this view, I'm surprised this is even a thing, because we would have never gotten this view for a long time, and yet here it is.
All the way up and look directly down at the Temple of Ancorage, right? And I mean, they designed this in vanilla WoW, where nobody could go all the way up and fly around and see stuff like that. So I mean, maybe you could see it on the mini-map. I saw some people say they saw it on the mini-map, or maybe you could just kind of piece it together. Like, this place kind of looks like a scarab, but I think it's really cool they designed it like that, because they could have just thrown it together back then and been like, whatever, nobody's going to look at it from the outside anyway, but they did, and it's pretty neat, especially all these years later, so that's why it's number 10. 9. Number 9 is an interesting one, because I always remember questing around the furbolgs, or the furblogs. I used to call them furblogs, but that's not what they're called. I'd always see them standing by these logs, and I was like, what are these big logs? And then I realized it's their homes.
Their houses,
and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I did notice that.
You never really got to see inside, but there is one home that allows you to look inside and see what these logs are like. So in Felpaw Village in Fellwood, if you go all the way to the northwestern part of the village, there is this little area with a patio porch type of area, and it allows you to go in through the side of the house. And it's actually very cozy. There's like a soup or a stew being cooked up in the cauldron.
That's
There's some plants all around. He's got some swift thistle and like various herbs. There's a beehive. It's genuinely a cozy place. And this is a very Grizzly Hills aesthetic type of house. So I think what happened was they made the Wrath of the Lich King Furbolg areas, and then when they went to Cataclysm, when they were redoing some of this Furbolg stuff, they were like, hey, you know what? Let's just make one of these houses with the assets we already have into a Grizzly Hills type of Furbolg house. So that's what I think happened, but
I've always loved these little details going into it. Just makes the game feel more alive. I don't know what it is. It makes the world feel more worldly. You can go in something and see all these little details. It's pretty cool.
I never love it, so that's why it's number 9. 8. Number 8 are the Gardener's Apprentices in Valdrakken, and this is kind of tucked away in an area of Valdrakken that I never really went to, so I think that's why I didn't realize this, but I love these guys. The one is this little guy who's following the other around with a rake, so he's learning how to do whatever
I would have never
other guys do it. I don't know if that's how you rake around here, but he's just like swinging that thing and hitting stuff. All right. But my favorite is this little guy with a watering can, and he just keeps watering this plant, which I think he's giving it a little too much water, but who knows? I'm not a gardener apprentice. What do I know? But if you click on him, he will actually turn towards you and start watering you and give you the watering buff, which gives you a 15% increase to your mana regen and fire resist, which I love that. It's just a little...
What? Can you take this outside of this? How long does this last? Oh, only 5 minutes. I was like, imagine going and doing like Firelands time walking with this buff on you. It's only 5 minutes. You gotta have somebody like port you over right away. It's not gonna last that long. But damn, 15%. That's not bad. Mana regen increase too.
Which I love that. It's just a little type of role play element they added.
That's pretty cool.
And, you know, I think a lot of people are always like, oh, they've taken roleplay elements out of WoW. But I think, you know, this shows that there's actually a lot of cool little things in WoW that I think people just don't go out of their way to find or notice. And I think it's pretty cool. So that's why the Gardener's Apprentices are number 8. 7. Number 7 is the Daran Mailroom. And I wanted to put this on the list because unless you played Legion or are a pet collector to go get the pet you can get from here, most people completely forgot about the Daran mailroom. Or even if you did go to the Daran mailroom back in the day, You've probably forgotten about it now. I know I did. I did the quest here, and I still forgot that Daran has a mailroom. And so this place is below Daran. You have to click on a letter and start a quest line, and then you click on this tube in the back of Daran, and it warps you down here. And there's the postmaster, and he's in charge of sending mail to characters and retrieval of items that were not rewarded into players' inventory, usually because their inventory was full. And he uses mail elementals to sort the mail, which happens to be the pet that
There's lore behind the guy who sends you the mail when your bag is full or when you don't loot something. That's funny.
You can get from here. And the postmaster's office actually has tubes for delivering mail to all of the game's continents except Draenor.
This is how you get the caddy mail
funny.
pet.
He's not sending it back in time. But yeah,
this is how you get the mail pet? I had no idea. Damn, I should go do this.
Such a cool place, and I really wanted to give it some more acknowledgement, so that's why the Daran mailroom is number 7. 6. For number 6, we're staying in Daran for the Cockroach-powered Alchemy machine. That's right, you heard correctly. The Cockroach-powered Alchemy machine. And I don't remember this.
This is absolutely horrible. This thing's fucking, it's chained down, and they're just sucking juice out of it.
This was added in Legion, I believe, because this is in Legion Daran, and it's in the Horde area right next to the Horde Inn where you walk up the stairs. And I don't think I've seen this anywhere else. Maybe there's some little areas where it's at, but I do not remember ever seeing this machine that is like how they have a mouse running a wheel to power
sucking the juice out. I mean, like it's internals. Man, God, I should have chose my words more wisely.
I think the Cockroach is just powering this tube spinner thing, and I'm just like, I don't know how he's doing it. He's not running. So, like, how are they getting the energy from this Cockroach? Like, I genuinely don't know, and I don't know if I want to know. Yeah. And it's kind of weirding me out. And that's why I put it on the list, and that's why it's number 6. 5. Number 5 is Dock 1 Exports, which is a store located in Borealis, which is a reference to Pier 1 Imports, which used to be a big retail chain located all over.
Pier 1, didn't they go bankrupt? I think they didn't survive COVID. That's pretty funny. So this is Stock 1.
Probably been in one. Okay. And now they only exist online. I believe all their brick and mortar stores are closed, but I always enjoyed walking around there. They had like wacky pillows and plates and random furniture and stuff. It was cool. And so finding this place, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this place existed in Borealis. That's pretty cool. And then I realized that there's this woman there that is bringing these dolls from the toy store across the street back over to the Dock 1 Exports, going upstairs into a bedroom and then putting the dolls into this big bed and then going away. And I don't know why. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know if this is a reference to something, but I genuinely couldn't find anything, and I'm just curious as to what this means, what is happening. Is this some weird, like, creepy horror movie thing? Like, I don't know, but I didn't even know this was a thing up until now. And so because of that, I had to put it on this list, and that's why it's number 5. 4. Number 4 is the Laval Rock Isle, and Laval Rock Isle is a small island in the Fatigue Zone off the southern coast of the Azure Span, and it's a very rocky landscape littered with dead plant life, piles of bones, and crabs. Crabs specifically wearing dragon skulls and dragon vertebrae on their backs.
What the heck? This is so... They made specific NPCs just for this island that we've never been to?
And I believe their leader is Crustostio, who is located in one of the caves on the island and has blood on his claws and is wearing a big dragon skull. And for any hunters that want to tame one of these crabs, to have a crazy dragon skull crab, it will get rid of the skull, so you'll just have a normal crab, so you can't do that. I don't know, that's it. I mean, I looked all around the internet.
Wait, so if do any hunters in the chat have one of the? If you tame one of these, do they keep the dragon bones on them? That's pretty cool. I have not seen a hunter with a freaking dragon skull crab. But if I was a hunter, I'd definitely be going to this. Look, you get the ones with the vertebrae on them.
Also, you'll just have a normal crab, so you can't do that. And I don't know. That's it. I mean, I looked all around the internet. I couldn't find anything about
what this place means. Oh, did he just say it takes it off? Yes, Sam, pay attention to the video. Okay, all right. Calm down, everybody. My God. Okay, all right.
Or why it's
that is lame. It would be really cool if you could tame these and they keep the vertebrae on.
Reference to something. So if you know, post it in the comments section below, because I have no idea. It seems like most people don't, unless maybe it's just some fun thing they added in. Who knows? But that's why the Laval Rock Island is number 4. Number 3 is the upper part of the Undercity, where there used to be nothing here, and it was just inaccessible, and now there is one thing here, and it's this big banquet going on between a bunch of various undead partygoers, I guess you could call them, and they've got some really interesting looking green sewer cake, they've got wine, and that's pretty much it. They're just all standing around having a good time, partying in the Undercity. Okay. Never expected to see that, but this is all apparently part of a rogue quest, the Hiding in Plain Sight quest, which I've actually covered for a few other pointless top 10s that kind of tied into it, but Mistress Matilda is the apparent Forsaken located at the Rogue's Quarter, and she's organizing a party in the Undercity, but in truth, she is a homunculus created by the Burning Legion to infiltrate their enemies, and if you don't know what that is, it is a type of undead construct so lifelike so as to be undetectable even by undead hunting experts such as Lillian Voss. And so yeah, it's just a big Forsaken party hidden away in the upper parts of the Undercity, which I think is pretty awesome. And that's why it's number 3.
Chat, calm down. Jesus Christ, I missed the guy what he said for 1 second about the damn dragon skulls. What the hell? You know how hard it is to stream with these damn 4 monitors, understand what's going on in the video and the chat and everything, and I don't pre-watch these. God, my God. Yes. What'd you guys eat this morning?
Number 2 is the Hidden Taris story, and this is a cool one because there's no quests about this. There's nothing that really tells you what happened, but you can use your imagination and your mystery-solving skills, if you want, to kind of figure it out for yourself. So if you go to Gadgetson, and you go out one of the gates, you'll see that there's a bunch of footprints in the ground and a bunch of tracks, whether they're goblin, animals, Kodo, like whatever. Okay. And you can follow these, and they start out with like a bunch of them, like this big expedition, and slow enough, they start to dwindle. They start to just slow down. There's bones that start to appear, so clearly people died on this journey. Damn. There's supplies that are stuck in the ground, and then you see
shit, the tracks, look at that. They're going less and less as people die. What the hell?
Smaller tracks, so clearly the party is dwindling, right? And they're just kind of going off on their own paths, and then one of the animals looks like they die. There's one where this guy is clearly by himself, and he's just like dropping his axe, then he drops his shield, and then you just see
these are cool
his bones
details
there, so he's dead. No. And then you can go down some other paths, and there's one where you see a guy going out, and then he tries to turn around and U-turn his way back to Gadgetson, but dies halfway there, which it's kind of funny because Gadgetson's like 30 seconds away, but I guess, you know, in terms of like the actual story and roleplay scale of the game, this is like a big trek for them, right? And so a lot of people theorize that deeper into Taris, there's this big camp, and it's got a bunch of collapsed tents and skeletons. So maybe this was a caravan that was supposed to go out there and bring them supplies and rescue them, and they just couldn't make it. But
this is actually
honestly really cool when they put stuff like this in the game, because it leaves it open.
Damn, it looks like they got raided or something. This guy clearly got killed. He blocked 2 arrows and then took a sword to the chest.
Interpretation, and I love that about it. So you can go to Taris for yourself and kind of scout
it. The 2 others got buried. Wow.
But it's one of my favorite things from the zone, so that's why
that's really
number
cool.
2. 1. And number 1 are the cave painting rocks in Mulgore. And I remember way back in the day questing in Mulgore.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yes, they died in the desert. The cool thing is how the tracks dwindle and everything else. Okay, guys.
Rocks and being like, well, those are pretty cool, but I never put thought behind it as to how are these things created. Like, we have some buffalo rocks that I don't think there's any buffalo in the game, so I don't know if this is like an ancient Taran or something, like a Taran before they became a Taran. They used to walk on all 4s, and then they're like, wow, we started walking with 2 feet with magic or something. Like, I don't know the origin of Taran, but maybe. And then there's another weird one. Looks like there's horseshoes and a weird llama horse thing. I don't know what that is either. It's just...
I don't think those are horseshoes. I think those are Tauren handprints. Tauren only have 3 fingers, don't they? Or do they have more? I'd have to look at a Tauren model, but don't they only have like 3 or 4 fingers or something? Those look like Tauren handprints, not hooves. I don't know.
Weird one. Looks like there's horseshoes and a weird llama horse thing. I don't know what that is either. It's just... It's a really weird thing to find in the game.
Yeah,
it's just been around forever, so I'm curious to what everybody else's interpretations are of these rocks. And so while there might be some other stuff on this list that you think should be number 1 in comparison, for me it's just the nostalgic value of these rocks. I always love Mulgore, and then just the mystery behind these too. Like, what are these cave paintings? Are these like old Taran thing? Like, I don't know. It's really cool, and I've always wondered. So that's why the Mulgore rocks are number 1. Hey, everybody,
Pretty
thanks
cool.
for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want to see more Pointless Top 10s, go check out Weirdest NPCs. If you want to see more weird, random stuff, or you go check out Pointless Top 10 Best Jobs in WoW if you want to see the best jobs in World of Warcraft. Also, consider supporting the channel on patreon.com/Crendor or by becoming a channel member. Okay? Okay.
There it is. Great video. Despite, you know, the disgust from chat, actually one of the coolest things I thought was that Crab Island. Pretty cool. The track, though, the desert tracks that became less and less as his party dwindled down, that one was really cool. I never knew that about in Taris, never noticed it before. That one was really cool. I think that one should have been #1, actually. That was probably the most badass one of them all. But cool list there. I'll link this video in chat, and you guys can check it out.